What if I told you that a simple 2022 P. Maya Angelou quarter with a strange mark on George Washington's face could be worth thousands of dollars? Collectors have uncovered rare mint errors like struck-through grease and die cracks that distort Washington's facial features, making these quarters incredibly valuable. One such coin sold for over $33,000, just because of this unique flaw. In this video, we'll show you what to look for, where to find it, and why this tiny error could turn your pocket change into a jackpot. Watch closely. There are moments in history that define a generation. And sometimes, those moments are honored not in statues, museums, or textbooks, but in something far smaller. Something as small as a coin. And yet, in the palm of your hand, it holds the memory of sacrifice, the story of valor, and for a lucky few, an astonishing value. Welcome to the story of the 2019 war in the Pacific Quarter, a coin you may already have, but whose real worth you might never imagine. At first glance, this quarter looks like any other. It has that familiar shine, the unmistakable George Washington profile on the obverse. Just another piece of change, right? But turn it over and look again. What you'll see isn't just art, it's a window into one of the fiercest, most pivotal battles in the history of World War II. A tribute to the courage, the struggle, and the unbreakable will of those who fought in the brutal Pacific Theater. The war in the Pacific National Historical Park, located in Guam, serves as the backdrop for this quarter's reverse design. The image is striking. A U.S. soldier crouches in combat readiness as enemy fire rains down, the waves crashing behind him, the tension frozen in time. It's a powerful reminder of the 1941 Japanese invasion and the grueling battle to reclaim Guam in 1944. And this 2019 quarter is more than just a commemoration. It's a key part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which from 2010 to 2021 honored 56 national parks and sites across the United States and its territories. But what makes this coin, the 2019 war in the Pacific Quarter, stand out from the rest? Why are collectors whispering about it, hunting for it, bidding thousands just to hold one in mint condition? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, striking errors, and extreme condition quality. The San Antonio and West Point mints introduced a twist in 2019, a limited batch of quarters with the coveted W mint mark, standing for West Point. Only 2 million of each design were minted at West Point that year, including the war in the Pacific Quarter, making these coins instantly rare compared to the hundreds of millions produced at Philadelphia and Denver. And yet, even among those 2 million W quarters, a tiny handful stood out, either through minting perfection or beautiful imperfections. Take, for example, the 2019 W war in the Pacific Quarter graded MS-68 by PCGS. That coin was nothing short of immaculate, pristine luster, sharp strikes, flawless surfaces. At auction, it stunned collectors by selling for $12,500. And that wasn't even the most dramatic sale. One particularly rare error quarter, a 2019 war in the Pacific Quarter struck on a defective planchet, with visible die cracks and misalignment, yet still retaining its W mint mark, sold in 2022 for an incredible $24,000. Error coins like this don't come often. They're accidents, miracles of timing and oversight. But when they surface, they're like gold dust in the numismatic world. Then came the legend. A coin dealer in Florida submitted a raw 2019 W war in the Pacific Quarter to NGC, suspecting it was something special. Under the microscope, examiners were stunned. The coin showed struck-through grease error across the soldier's helmet and face, a haunting effect that looked almost intentional, like the ghostly blur of battle. It was a one-of-a-kind minting error on a coin that was already rare. That specimen went up for auction later that year and fetched a jaw-dropping $29,000. So how does something worth just 25 cents suddenly carry the price tag of a luxury car? It's not just about rarity. It's about emotion, history, and the pursuit of perfection. Collectors don't just see metal, they see meaning. They see the story of American soldiers crouched in the jungle, cut off from the world, facing an enemy they couldn't see. They see the spirit of survival. They see the story of a country that came together in its darkest hour. And when that story is captured in a coin, when it's struck cleanly, preserved perfectly, or even marked by the unexpected, it becomes priceless. But there's more to this story than high-end auctions. There are people, average, everyday people, who found these coins in pocket change, from bank rolls, or even loose on the ground. One teenager in Oregon found a 2019 W quarter while doing laundry. She noticed the tiny W mint mark and Googled it out of curiosity. That same coin, when sent to PCGS and graded MS-67, sold for $7,800. Another man in Colorado pulled one from a gas station coin return tray. It was slightly worn but still sold online for $1,250, not bad for a coin he didn't even pay for, and that's the true thrill, isn't it? The idea that you could be the next to find one. That your change, the coins you ignore, the one sitting in your cup holder or resting on a dresser, might secretly be worth thousands. The 2019 war in the Pacific Quarter with the W mint mark is still out there. Not all have been found. And even among those discovered, many are yet to be submitted for grading, meaning values will continue to rise as supply tightens. Collectors are paying premiums for certified examples in MS-67 or higher, especially with full strike, no contact marks, and strong eye appeal, and for error coin lovers, the possibilities are endless. Some of the most sought-after versions include off-center strikes, double dies, struck-through errors, and die chips that resemble extra features on the soldier or battlefield. Each of these rare forms has sold at auction from $5,000 to $29,000, depending on condition and uniqueness, but even without an error, a clean, uncirculated W mint war in the Pacific Quarter is a valuable piece of modern numismatic history. Because this wasn't just a coin, it was a message from the U.S. Mint to collectors, a secret signal saying, look closer. Pay attention. History still lives in your hands. And maybe that's the lesson we take from it all, that in a world obsessed with the digital, with things that flicker and vanish, there's still magic in something tangible. In metal. In weight. In the stories that are small enough to slip into your pocket but big enough to hold the memory of a nation. The 2019 war in the Pacific Quarter doesn't just honor the past, it reminds us that rare, extraordinary things can still be found in the everyday. That treasure doesn't have to be buried. Sometimes, it's right there in your change.so the next time you pay for a coffee, or dig through a drawer, or cash in coins at a bank. Take a moment. Check the date. Look for that W. Examine the design. You never know, your next quarter could be worth $12,500, or even $29,000. It's just a quarter, they say. Just another coin jingling at the bottom of your pocket, forgotten in a coin jar, sliding silently across a checkout counter. But sometimes, a coin isn't just currency, it's a canvas of history, a message frozen in metal, and, for the lucky few who notice the details, a life-changing treasure hiding in plain sight. And today, we're talking about one of the most powerful and unexpectedly valuable coins of modern times, the 2022 P. Maya Angelou quarter dollar. A piece that not only made headlines for its historical significance, but shocked the numismatic world when certain examples began selling for prices most people wouldn't believe. Yes, up to $181,230 for a single coin. Let's step back for a moment. In early 2022, the U.S. Mint launched the American Women Quarters program, a bold new initiative to honor female icons who shaped American culture, politics, and civil rights. And leading this historic series was none other than Dr. Maya Angelou, poet, author, civil rights activist, and one of the most beloved voices of the 20th century. The reverse of the quarter, designed by Emily Damstra and sculpted by Craig Campbell, is stunning. It shows Angelou with her arms uplifted, a rising sun behind her and a majestic bird in flight, evoking the themes of freedom and strength that defined her work. It's a tribute to her poem, Still I Rise, and to the unbreakable spirit that made her a legend. But while the public admired the coin for its symbolism, coin collectors were seeing something more. Something unusual. Something potentially worth tens of thousands, or more. Let's talk about the Philadelphia Mint, which struck millions of these Maya Angelou quarters. Specifically, the 2022 P version. While most of these coins entered circulation just like any other, face value, 10 rolls for $2.50, some rare anomalies were discovered. Mint errors. Misstrikes. And in a few cases, miracles. The first major shock came when a sharp-eyed collector in Pennsylvania spotted an odd-looking quarter from a fresh roll purchased at a bank. On closer inspection, he realized the coin had been struck off-center, with Maya Angelou's figure warped and the rim missing from one side. He sent it to PCGS for grading, and the result was jaw-dropping. mint state 66, off-center strike, pristine luster, no post-mint damage. That quarter sold at auction $4.33, 400. From there, the chase was on. Collectors across the country began hunting for 2022 P quarters, combing through pocket change, buying unsearched rolls, scanning coin show tables for anything that looked even slightly abnormal. And then came the real prize, the discovery that made headlines across the numismatic world. It happened quietly. A collector in Florida, known for submitting obscure modern coins to be graded, sent in a handful of 2022 P. Maya Angelou quarters. One stood out immediately. The coin had what's known as a struck-through error, where foreign material, perhaps grease or a piece of debris, was on the die during the strike. The result? A surreal, ghostly image of Angelou with partially missing details, as though fading into sunlight. It was mesmerizing. Graded MS-67 with a unique error notation, that coin didn't just sell, it smashed records, landing a final hammer price of $92,000. But that wasn't the end of the story. Just 6 months later, another example surfaced, this time from a Texas collector. The coin appeared to have been struck on the wrong planchet entirely, a thinner, smaller blank typically used for a foreign coin. Experts confirmed it was an off-metal strike, and combined with the full Maya Angelou design showing despite the error, it became a one-of-a-kind piece. At auction, bidders from across the globe drove the price higher and higher until it finally settled at an unbelievable $181, $230. A coin that says 25 cents. Worth nearly $200,000. The question is, how does something like this happen? The answer lies in the incredible complexity of modern minting. Despite all the automation, despite quality control, the US Mint still produces billions of coins per year. And sometimes, a blank from another denomination, or even another country, ends up in the feed system. Sometimes, a die isn't aligned properly. Sometimes, debris interferes. And when that happens, and the coin slips through unnoticed, it enters the world not just as money, but as a collector's jackpot. What makes the 2022 P. Maya Angelou quarter so compelling is not just the errors, but the symbolism. A coin honoring a woman who rose against odds, who told the world, "Still I rise," ends up becoming one of the rarest and most valuable quarters in recent history. It's poetic. It's powerful. It's Maya, and here's the twist, they're still out there. These quarters were released into general circulation. They were meant to be used, spent, exchanged without fanfare. Which means the next valuable piece might be in your wallet. In your change jar. In a box you haven't opened since 2022. The thrill of the hunt is very real, but not all treasures are obvious. You need to know what to look for. Look for quarters with the P mint mark, those were struck in Philadelphia. Examine the coin carefully under light. Check for doubling in the inscriptions, especially in E pluribus unum or in Angelou's wings. Look for any signs of off-center strikes, clipped planchets, ghostly fades, or unusual coloration. And if you find something suspicious, don't dismiss it. Send it to a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC. A $30 submission could turn into a 5-figure reward, even without a major error. Uncirculated examples of the 2022 P. Maya Angelou quarter with full luster and perfect detail are gaining value. Coins graded MS-67 and MS-68 regularly sell for $300 to $2,000, depending on demand and condition. These aren't fantasy numbers, they're real. And as the American Women Quarters program gains more historical weight, early issues like Maya Angelou's are becoming cornerstone collectibles. This isn't just a coin. It's a moment in time. It's a story of strength. It's an unexpected opportunity hiding in something we see every day. Think about it. How many of these quarters have passed through gas stations, parking meters, soda machines? How many people held them without knowing what they truly carried? That's the magic of numismatics. It teaches us to slow down, to pay attention, to recognize value in places others ignore, and maybe that's what Maya Angelou herself would have wanted. Not just to be remembered on a coin, but to spark curiosity. To inspire people to look again. To remind us that greatness can appear in the smallest of spaces. So next time you're holding change, stop. Look closer. That ordinary quarter might just be a $33,000 discovery. Or better yet, $181,000 worth of history, art, and treasure, all in your pocket.